An anti-terrorism court in Wazirabad has granted the police 12-day physical remand of Naveed, who opened fire on PTI chairman Imran Khan during the party's long march on November 3rd. Earlier today, the police presented Naveed before the court with the plea of a 30-day remand. The police said that they need to investigate the suspect further, recover weapons from this custody, and collect scientific evidence. Subsequently, Judge Rana Zahid Iqbal approved Naveed's 12-day physical remand and directed the police to present him in court on November 29th. During the hearing today, the court also ordered an inquiry against the investigation officers in the case for presenting the suspect in court 10 days after the registration of a first information report. The head of the JIT is being instructed to probe and fix responsibility against the delinquents under intimation to this court till next date of hearing, failing which the law shall take its own course, the judge directed. Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf chairman Imran Khan has claimed that the government was introducing changes in the Pakistan Army Act 1952 in an effort to bring in an army chief who could protect them. He said that there was a chance that the current leaders would flee the country. They're doing this all for themselves, not the country, he said.
और ये जो अब कानून बदल रहे हैं, आर्मी एक्ट बदल रहे हैं, सिर्फ इनका एक मकसद है कि किसी तरह हम आर्मी चीफ भी वो ले आएं जो हमारे एजेंडा पे खड़ा हो जाए, जो हमें तहफ़्फ़ुज़ दे, जो हमें बचाए। तो सारी कोशिश ये मुल्क के लिए नहीं है, ये सारा मकसद ये है कि हम किसी तरह जो हमने 30 सालों में जो चोरी की और ख़ास तौर पे पिछले 10 साल में, हम किसी तरह इसको बचा लें।
The PTI chairman told the nation that the Long March was a defining moment for the country. He said that the nation which tolerated these thieves would never be able to progress.
अगर कौम जब खड़ी हो जाती है, जब कौम फैसला कर लेती है कि हम ना इंसाफी नहीं बर्दाश्त करेंगे, हम जुल्म नहीं बर्दाश्त करेंगे, वो कौम अपने आप को आज़ाद कर देती है। और अल्लाह ने इसको जहाद कहा हुआ है कि जुल्म और ना इंसाफी के ऊपर उसका हुक्म है हमें कि आप खड़े हो इसके खिलाफ।
Imran also said that Pakistan was witnessing record inflation.
हुकूमत सबसे पहले ये कोशिश कर रही है कि उनकी जो करप्शन के केस है वो खत्म कैसे हो। ये कभी किसी मुल्क के अंदर ऐसे नहीं हुआ कि 1100 अरब रुपए के करप्शन के केस हैं जो नैब में पड़े हुए थे, 1100 अरब रुपए के, और इन्होंने असेंबली में बैठ के कानून पास किया है जिससे इनमें हर किसी के जो बड़े बड़े डाकू हैं इनके करप्शन केस खत्म हो रहे हैं।
The Supreme Court on Thursday dismissed JUIF Senator Kamran Murtaza's petition to stop PTI's ongoing long march, deeming it as non-maintainable. The petition, a copy of which is available with Dawn.com, states that the PTI chairman has been trying to establish a narrative basing his ouster from the government on an international conspiracy and threatening to overthrow the incumbent government by marching into the capital territory. The petition adds, the sole purpose of such march is nothing more than to gain, inter alia, create a situation of chaos and panic in the country through the use of force and illegal arms. It also highlights that ex-PM Imran is preparing his party workers for waging a so-called jihad against the state. A three-judge bench comprising Chief Justice Umar Ata Bandeyal, Justice Aisha Malik, and newly elevated Justice Athar Minallah heard the plea in the Apex Court in Islamabad. Responding to the petitioner, Justice Malik asked if the government has formulated any plans to regulate protests. As the hearing continued, Justice Minallah termed the match an executive matter, urging the petitioner to approach the government instead of the court. The country's default risk, as measured by 5-year credit default swaps, that is, insurance contracts that protect an investor against default, rose sharply overnight in political turmoil and uncertainty about talks with the International Monetary Fund. The CDS soared to 75.5% on Wednesday from 56.2% a day ago, according to data provided by research firm Arif Habib Limited. Official sources in Washington said last week the schedule for talks between Pakistan and the IMF had been readjusted, but the negotiations are continuing. Media reports, however, claimed that the talks that were scheduled to begin in early November had been postponed until the third week of this month. According to these reports, the talks would resume after Pakistan fulfilled its pledge to adjust sales tax on petroleum products and took other measures required under a loan agreement revived earlier this year. But official sources who spoke to Dawn had said the talks were rescheduled after last month's release of a World Bank report on flood damages in Pakistan. Pakistan is scheduled to pay $1 billion on December 5 against the maturity of 5-year Sukuk or Islamic bonds. The finance minister has repeatedly assured for Sukuk payment, but the international market is not ready to rely on assurances as the country's economy struggles to avoid default by borrowing more from the markets, donors, commercial banks, and friendly countries. Less than 24 hours after the federal government decided to lift the ban on Saim Sadiq's Joyland, the government of Punjab issued a notice to the film's producer saying that they cannot exhibit the film in the jurisdiction of Punjab province. Dated November 17th, the notice was sent to Sarmat Sultan Khusat, the producer of Joyland, by the Punjab Information and Culture Department, and read that under Section 9, 1 and 2, subsection A and B of the Motion Pictures Ordinance 1979 and the rules made thereunder, the government has decided to recall Joyland in the wake of persistent complaints received from different quarters. It also directs Khusat that the Joyland team cannot exhibit their film in the jurisdiction of Punjab province till further notice by the government of Punjab. Section 9, 1 and 2 subsections A and B suggest that the government may at any stage call for the record of any proceedings in relation to any film that may be pending before or has been decided by the board. After such inquiry into the matter as considered necessary and without notice to the person who has applied for certification of the film or to whom a certificate in respect of the film has been granted, to the distributor or exhibitor of such film, make such order in relation thereto as it thinks fit.